Alright, Shalom, Barak Howell, Barak Shai, Barak Howell, Barak Shai, Barak Shai, Call Halal Blah, but now we have Bashim Shai, Bashim Dash. So I'd say the honor and respect to my apostles and others, the great millstone who taught us the truth. Much love, peace, and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hope elect in 1/3, his brother Salah. Alright, in today's video lesson, I don't know if you brothers can hear me on the mic, but because it is connected to my car, but for today's video, we are going to be talking about,
At the next light, turn left onto the I-70 East ramp to I-270.
Slot, give me a second. Yeah, as I was saying, right, we be talking about, prophecy, right, the hot topic today that everyone's talking about is what prophecy, the MOTV, right? And June's already been passed, right? The microchips is already here and presented.
At the light, turn left onto the I-70 East ramp.
Yeah. So the microchip, right? It's already here. It's already been presented, right? And now what else are people talking about that comes along with it, right? These data centers, right? How they're consuming resources like the water supply. But not only that, right? But now we know that these data centers, like the actual reason why they're here is they're going to be connected. We know that they're going to be connected to AI. That AI is going to be built into an algorithm database, right? And what they're going to be used as surveillance, right? Collect information on the people, right? On all of us, mainly, right? They're there to search out for the men of the Lord, the elect, right? They're going to use that to track and monitor your search history, right? What you click, what you like, right? The videos you watch, the music you listen to, man, all that's going to go into place, right? To figure out who the man of the Lord is, because Esau wants wants to take you down, right? Right, along with other things too, like you got heat waves, hitting Europe, killing like 1,000 people.
Then use the right 2 lanes to take exit 53.
Give me a moment. Okay. Yeah. Heat waves in Europe killing like thousands of people, and we know it's all.
To take exit 53.
And we know it's all caused, Esau's fault. Really, if y'all watching y'all shine, operate on whether you be operating on the left or right hand side, man, because all things come from the Lord, right? And just go to show you, man, that the Lord y'all watching outside is in this place, and people are starting to wake up there. They are aware now. People can't fucking deny it, right? And if they are, they lost in the sauce. Or they're fucking denial because they don't want to see their kingdom falling down, or they don't want to see Babylon falling down, whether they be a 2/3 or heathen or Edomite, whatever, man. But anyways, we're going to open up with the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6, and it says here. Give me a second. I'm changing lanes. Alright, the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6, and it says here, "You shall hear wars and rumors of wars." Actually, no, I'm not sure that's what I wanted. Give me a second. Just lock it. No. We're gonna open up with the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. I'm gonna say that previous verse later. And that now, knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe, right? So we at the end, right? Right, like all these things are that have come to pass, right? They're speaking loudly, right? They ain't no fucking denying anymore. The people that are denying, their ass is grass, they're through, man. Now people are now. It's funny though. People, before, the prophets, starting with our apostles and elders on down, when they've been preaching and prophesying this 2 decades ago, right? People would say, "Oh, you're nuts, you're a conspiracy, you're crazy." Now, when you hear people speak against it, now they're gonna look at you sideways, say, "No, do you not see what the fuck's going on? Do you not see what the fuck's happening to our economy? Do you not see are you not paying attention to the straits, right?"
Caused by a crash in 4 miles.
There's no denying prophecy no more, man. Like prophecies in the mouths of everyone, right? But the only difference is the elect, right? Right? The hopeful elect, right? The 124,000 and the 1/3. We're privy to the understanding that all these things have to come to pass before that great terrible day of judgment, right? The eventual shutdown of the internet, right? The men of the Lord, starting with our apostles and elders, and us in the body of the faith. We're going to get persecuted, right? Some of us are going to put to internment camps, FEMA camps, what have you, concentration camps. But we're not to fear these things. We're why the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is going to be with us. That's why this says you don't fear none of those things, right? The devil shall cast you into depression. You should be trying to be faithful to death. Give you the crown of life. I'll be paraphrasing, right? That's the book of Revelation. I forgot which chapter, right? But it's the type of mentality, the type of faith that we need during these times. It's about to get really fucking bad out here, man. All right, and that's you're right here. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, right? It says here, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, shall not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. Because it shall surely come. It will not tarry, and now it's not tarrying anymore, right? Like you see things, right? Speeding up, things are moving fast, things are accelerating, right? Right? That you hear multiple brothers, right? The brother among the bar, and other brothers, right? You'll talk about how fast, noticing how fast time is moving, right? Including these average everyday, people, man, these peons. They don't. Now they're starting to do, why is time accelerating, right? Right, they're comparing the last 3 to 5 years or whatever, like from 2016, 17, all the way up to 2020. Those feel like long years compared to like 2020 to now. Those feel like really short years. And why is that? It's because the Lord is speaking of the time. When you like said, hey, these no flesh on earth be saved. And again, I'm about to paraphrase that scripture, but understand, man. The Lord didn't see at the time, man. He saw Edom, right? He would fuck up a lot of people. If he was given that extended time or free reign, because look how much fucking destruction this damn devil's doing across the planet, and now he's about to do even more destruction with these damn data centers now. That's why Yahweh Bashim Al Shai needs to return quickly, man, to rescue his elect. Right? The only things left are what? World War III, those race riots, famine of the word, and this is not in any specific order, right? But like persecution of the prophets, shut down the internet, lack of food supplies and resources. All these things must come to pass, right? That great and terrible day of judgment, right? And that final day of judgment is when that RFID and microchip gets released, right? The elect will really, we be part of the elect. We're not going to take that. The Lord's going to keep us from these things if we stay faithful and true, man. Believe in the Lord, wholeheartedly, and all the prophecies, right? That includes praying, fasting, studying, making lessons, reading, all these things, right? Right. So the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, may hopefully rescue us from all these things that are about to come to pass, man. So but yet. Sloppy. I'm just right here. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Right, and that all, what this is talking about is what, man. We keep reading faith. This is what we're gonna need these last days, man. It says here, this is the book of Hebrews chapter 1. Sloppy. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things that are hoped for, the things that or the evidence of things that are not seen, sloppy. I'm trying to make reading, but yeah, man, this is exactly what we need in these times, right? It's faith. It's high amounts of faith, from Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, man, because without that, man, we pretty much threw our asses grass, man. So, that's how we're supposed to be conducting ourselves. No more are we held to the full standard of the law. Although yes, we rehearse the righteous act, which is a part of keeping faith, right? Right, right, but we rehearse the righteous acts, right? Show brotherly love, sisterly love to one another, right? Setting alms, right? Doing all these good things in hopes of what, man? Salvation, right? Which is part of what? Putting on the whole armor of God, putting the whole armor of Yahweh Shemashai, as it says in the book of Ephesians, right? We need all these things, especially that shield of faith, man, because that's what's going to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, man. Satan might try to throw an evil thought in your mind, right? But if you have that shield of faith, if you have that knowledge, wisdom, understanding, you understand that, okay, I understand why I'm going through all these things. It's because we sinned against the Lord, or the Lord preordained this, this, that, and the third, right? Right. We have precepts to back this up, right? Precept upon precept, line upon line, right? Here little, there little, right? Lord, the Almighty Shemashai gave us everything that we need in the scriptures. There's to be fully equipped, right? You'll to stand that great terrible day. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, right? Although us brothers, right? Certain of us, or many of us might have certain understandings or deep understandings, right? What's gonna ultimately get us through, right? Is the milk, right? Knowing when and how to apply these certain precepts. That's the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we need, right? And ultimately, the fear of the Lord, right? And the precept that that we're referencing that every brother and sister should know by now is for wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy time, the strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai as his treasure, man. And this is what we're gonna need during these times, right? When things are about to get real hectic, real bad. We ultimately gonna need faith, man, and the Lord that He's gonna save us from all these said things, these said perils, as He promised, right? Again, if we be able to hope for elect, be faithful, right? Because it's not of our works, man, if we've been chosen, right? The ones who've been chosen, right? They're already pre-wired or preconditioned, to follow all these things, right? To keep those acts of faith, right? That's why this group said, strive unto the truth until death, and the Lord Yahweh shall fight for thee, right? Right? Which it says that in the Apocrypha, Slavi. I forgot which precept, but I think it was in Ezra's, but correct me if I'm wrong, Slavi. And speaking of Ezra's, right? Right, it says here, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of the trouble thee that speak against thee. Right. The incredulity means what? Lack of faith, the unfaithfulness. Right. So we got heavy opposition. Right. We got high level demons. Plaguing the minds of these people. Right. Despite all the things happening. Right. There's still gonna be unbelievers out there. That don't believe in the Lord. That don't believe in His name. Remember the name of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is a strong tower. And of course, you got fucking Amalek out there saying, "Oh, this is not the name of the Lord," or whatever. He's gonna blaspheme the Lord and say things like "Oh, Yahweh is not His name," or Yahweh Shai is not His name. Despite multiple evidence out there proving otherwise, and even His own people, His own scientists, His own scholars, they're going into the Northern Kingdom, their old burial sites, and they see they see the etchings of the wall of literally the name Yahweh Shemashai, and they're literally saying it like that too, man. And your brothers and sisters know what video I'm talking about. Even Esau even Esau knows the actual pronunciation of these names, but yet they're too afraid to say it because why? Because why? Ultimately the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is not dealing with these devils, man. And that's why they have that incredulity or unbelief ultimately, because why? The Lord's not for them, man. And as for these 2/3, the Lord put a heavy demon on them, meaning He rejected them. He don't want them to get the word. He don't want them to get the names or understanding. Because why? Ultimately, these people are set up for judgment, man. These are the same people that wandered for 40 years in Egypt. Why? For their unfaithfulness. For the wickedness, man. They're just not in the right mindset. And and ultimately, they're just set up for destruction, man. Pray, pray. That's why we gotta pray that the Lord Yahweh Bashim has mercy on us, man. We truly don't know if we'd be elected now. All we can do, man, is show our faith, by works, right? Because the scripture says, faith without works is dead, man. And that's why the scripture says, we are called, we are called our due diligence to make our calling of our election sure. And again, I'm roughly paraphrasing, but again, all these precepts. But I'm going through the ones, Slack. I'm going through, certain precepts as main topics, and then think of other precepts, man. And so the last precept I'm going to get out is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And it says here, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet, right? Ultimately, the end is not yet until the RFID microchip, gets implemented, which you see on the table, man. You see it's going to get implemented real soon, right? But there are talks of the RFID microchip, this digital currency, right? Kill gates of hell's, cryptocurrency, with the patent 60606, whatever, right? Chi Psi Stigma 666 666. All this is being made manifest, right? Again, man, people are talking about this because why? They know they're at the end. They see the kingdom, right? They see the kingdom about to fall, and not coincidentally, right? This is how you know it's all played out by the Lord. Because the Lord is a master strategist. He is a master chess player. Is that this is all happening around the 250th anniversary of America, aka Babylon the Great. And remember, the average empire lasted around 250 years, right? Ancient Greece, Rome, all these empires lasted around those times. It's no different for America, right? So that's how you know we at the end, man. As because Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it, man. And so we're almost there, man. Just Akim Makwa, man. Stay faithful, stay prayed up. We're almost out of here, right? So with that, I'm just getting off this intransit lesson. Hope this has been edifying, looking into what it means to sincere Akim Makwa. And with that, I can say, call for Allah, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakadash, double honest, respect to my apostles, and elders, great millstone, rule all thoughts of truth. Much love, peace, and salutations to the Lord's elect. Hopefully, like the 1/3, peace, brother Salah. And with that, I can say, Shalom.